did help the kids get to school. And when I got here, a couple of my assistants said, man, I peeked my head in, and those ladies were getting after it. So I'm excited to I might set my alarm clock a little bit earlier tomorrow morning just to check it out. But I guess a recap for us in terms of a little bit of off-season stuff. We had a very productive trip to the Bahamas. Had a great time. It was definitely a team bonding experience that was very much needed, especially relative to the fact that we have 9 newcomers. We're a very unique team in that we can be perceived as very experienced, deservedly so, because we have 4 very, very good, very experienced players. But the rest of our team is unbelievably inexperienced. So that trip for us was extremely valuable, and it carried over to, I guess, since the first day of school, having smoother workouts than we normally would have had under these different circumstances. We've had good carryover from the summer, a very good fall, probably as good a fall as we've had here in these past, since I've been here. So this is the 4th fall. Overall, probably the biggest positive of the fall so far has been our leadership. You know, we've had very good leadership in the past. This class here, who's Kane can correct me if I'm wrong, has got a chance to be the winningest class in school history, comprised of little Mike Kaiser back there. He calls me Big Mike. I call him Little Mike. Mike and Speedy and Raheem, those are 3 special young men, and they've provided unbelievable leadership this fall. We've really worked. We're in better shape than we were this time last year. They've been extensions of our staff. They've made sure we've had the correct intensity level and enthusiasm level. And I'll credit Mike, not just because he's sitting here, but those 2 other guys, because they're backcourt guys, Speedy and Raheem, since they've been here, they've kind of taken on somewhat of a leadership role. You always ask your guards to be more vocal than other positions. Mike's probably become our most improved leader, and he's really put those other front court guys under his arm, and very proud of the jump he's made in that regard. So I guess here we are, first couple of days of practice. We're Friday and Saturday. We were off yesterday, so we get back at it today. First couple of practices were pretty good. The enthusiasm level, the intensity level, again, how hard we got after each other, the competitiveness, it was all there. Obviously, we have a ton to do as all college basketball programs in terms of cleaning up a bunch offensively and defensively, but pretty pleased where we're at so far this early.
I know you probably feel like it's a broken record, but without the Bahamas, what would right now be like?
I'm scared about our team right now because we have so far to go. I would be, oh my goodness, it'd be very hard to sleep. I probably would have been at Coach Summitt's practice this morning. I probably would have had no sleep because we have so far to go. I mean, 9 new guys. They're talented. They're athletic. We're deep. You know, they all have a chance to be really good players here. But Speedy and Raheem and Mike, you know, this time their freshman year, they had a ways to go. They weren't ready to win, you know, a regular season WAC game at that point. In fact, it took us a few games before we could even win one. So you got to keep it all in perspective. In that, I'm super excited about our freshman class, our junior college transfers, Eric McCree, Leo Edwards, but they're going to be much better in February than they are today. And without that Bahamas trip, we'd be even further behind.
A lot has changed personnel-wise, not only with players but some new coaches. But does it feel like not much has changed in the sense that the ultimate goal is still the NCAA tournament? Exactly,
it is. We've been fortunate to be a part of a couple championships, and we'd like to do that again. It'll continue to be a goal for us to at least be in the mix late conference season in Conference USA. Hopefully, to have a chance at a regular season championship. But for us, we're eager to take the next step, and it's going to happen in this program. We hope it happens this year. We hope it happens with this class. I want it for our staff and our entire roster, but I want it more for these 3 seniors than anything else. And obviously our fan base who's been waiting for a long time to get back into that NCAA tournament. But it's interesting. Just popped in my head as you asked that question. we picked individual team words for each guy to focus on throughout the year, and then we picked individual words for each guy to focus on, and then our 3 seniors picked a team word, and they met on it, and pretty quickly those 3 seniors decided on our team word being finish. So that will be that'll be our goal. It'll be our rallying cry to finish, to find a way, and whether that's to be this much more consistent in the regular season, which teams at our level need to do just to get an at-large. Whether that's the 1 or 2 games that we've given up that if we hadn't have given up the last couple of years we would have gotten an at-large bid, or whether that's winning 3 in 3 days, which we had an opportunity to twice, and on day 3 we just came up a little bit short. Either way, finishing is our ultimate goal.
So, having said that, in the past you haven't talked about in the past you haven't talked about big picture, but with this team, with 3 senior leaders that have been through it, you're just saying we're going to talk about it, and we're going to talk about finish from the beginning.
Good question, Ron. I tried to avoid it, and these 3 seniors won't let me avoid it. That's what they talk about daily. We'll get up in huddles, and I'm a big ownership guy. I do a lot of talking, but I want our players to do a lot of talking, especially our leaders. And these 3 seniors, they all have the gift of gab, don't they, Mike? But they're all taking on that leadership responsibility and role, and it's daily dialogue. NCAA tournament, the next step, finishing, and so that those guys won't let me not talk about it. It's out there.
Getting a chance to see you guys play Saturday at practice, Raheem, of course, had the injury last year, and even by the end of the year he was back, but he wasn't back as the Raheem that we all have grown to know. He seems to be closer now. Would you agree?
Yeah. Oh yeah, Raheem's 100%. He's had his best couple practices, these last couple, obviously than he's had in a long time, because he wasn't at that percentage. But in the Bahamas, athletically he was close, and then I thought in the 3rd game he made some really big plays to get his confidence back. Some winning plays. He was the best player on the floor the last 10 minutes of the game, if you include the overtime, and I thought that would do some positive things for him mentally. It's carried over to this fall. Justin Wheeler's done a really good job with him in terms of rehabbing and strengthening things, and you're always dealing with any type of those injuries. You're dealing with scar tissue, and you're dealing with pain tolerance, but he's playing really well right now. We expect a huge year out of him.
Y'all added a bunch of 2s and 3s and 4s in y'all's offense.
Yeah.
That should make you feel a little better as far when injuries that happen in this game, when they do occur, so that you can pick up where they left off.
Yeah, I really like our depth. I don't like the experience of our depth, but hopefully we can grow, and hopefully 2 or 3 guys surprise you with their learning curve. It's happened before. It's happened with us, the last few years. We've tried to simplify some things, especially offensively, to take advantage of our experienced backcourt. There are less calls. There are less sets, less plays, a little bit less structure. We're more focused on spacing and taking good shots, valuing the basketball, which hopefully will allow us, with the rest of our inexperienced guys, to focus on the more important things, as Coach Summit was talking about, defense and rebounding, championship plays, making winning plays. Getting back to our depth, Jonathan, we're all happy about bringing in more length and more size, and now we have 2 guards out with injuries, and Jacoby Boykins and Deion Griffin. And now we're that opposite end of the spectrum. We're a program that's played 4-guard lineups the last 3 years, and if you look at us in practice right now, we got 5s playing the 4 and 4s playing the 3 and 4s playing the 2 even on our second team. So, needless to say, that the team with those 3 guards was pretty dominant those last couple practices. Looking forward to getting Deion and Jacoby back here pretty soon.
When do you expect them back?
I think Deion's a couple weeks out. I think Jacoby's more 4 weeks out or so. I think some of that will depend on just the healing process and the rehab. But they'll both be back this year, and both of them both of them would be very good players. That both of them played really well in the Bahamas. And, as much as you need guards for games, it's underappreciated how much you need balance in practice. And, heck, we may need to have an open tryout, get some of the students over here and pick out a couple guys out of the student section.
Did the Bahamas help in that sense? Normally, if you have freshmen coming in, they're out 4 to 6 weeks or 2 to 4 weeks. That's a big deal, but
Yes,
the Bahamas to kind of ease them.
It's a good point, Sean. If the freshman guards, if this was their first go-round, they'd be in trouble. They'd have zero experience probably until we play at Southern, the season opener. So to have that mini camp, if you will, behind them was very valuable.
Tell me what you think just overall of your non-conference schedule. I know you guys start off against Southern, but just your
Yeah.
overall impressions of who you guys have on deck.
Well, I hate to say it, not overly pleased with our non-conference schedule. We took some more swings at folks, and you'd like to have SEC and ACC programs, a few of them on your schedule. You'd like to get one of them to come here, and we struggle with it. We finished our schedule very late. We spent months and months on it. Put a lot of emails and phone calls and texts into it, and we struck out a bunch, honestly. We did. I do feel like we bulked it up in a couple areas in the fact that we have Syracuse and NC State on the road. Those will be obviously huge challenges. The Coaches vs. Cancer allows us to go to Temple, who I think will be improved from last year. Obviously a storied tradition there. It'll be a very hard place to play. So we have some opportunities there, and then we have some in-state road games, which would be very difficult for us. Three rosters with a bunch of Louisiana kids who I'm sure are excited to play Louisiana Tech, and we'll need to be equally as excited to play at Southern and at Lafayette and at Northwestern State. So we have a bunch of challenges. One of the positives is that with the Coaches vs. Cancer, a multi-team event, with the opportunity to host that, it gave us 3 additional home games. So we got to 16 home games after really struggling to generate those. Not a lot of teams are excited to come to Ruston right now, and I think it's a testament to our guys. But I think that a lot of programs throughout the country, especially at our level, that mid-tier level, I think struggle with the same thing.
So, like Wichita State, for example, they struggle with it. What is there an answer? How do you fix it?
Well, some of those Wichita State's they budgets are different. The way that some of those highest tier, I should say, we'd like to perceive ourselves as a higher tier mid-major. At least that's what we tell recruits. We've had success, and we hope to continue to build on it. But the highest tier mid-majors are generating a lot of money where they can pay teams to come in. Hopefully, we can get to that here, in the next few years. A lot of it comes from, how you draw and how many home games you get, to draw those fans. So it's a constant grind. Scheduling it's a year-round grind. We're already working toward next year's schedule, and we hope to someday be able to track some of the higher level opponents to at least take a chance and come to Ruston. I would think with the people that we reach out to this year, when they see that Mike Kaiser is about to graduate and Speedy Smith and Raheem Appleby, I would think that they would consider us a little bit more strongly.
Have you decided what you're going to do with that potential late December opening yet?
Yeah, we're really close. We're probably going to go with a non-Division I. We struggled to find a home game. We had a couple options there late, probably a month ago to consider road games, but our last non-conference game, I believe, Kane, correct me if I'm wrong, before Christmas was at NC State, and then when we got our conference schedule where we opened conference play with 3 on the road, I didn't want to have 5 straight on the road. I didn't want to have 2 straight on the road going into conference play when we go that Saturday, I believe, to Southern Miss. So we'll play a non-Division I at home, which will be our only non-Division I, which won't affect our strength of schedule numbers or RPI numbers, Ken Palm numbers, whatever numbers you want to talk about in any way.
Anything else?
Oh, about just replacing Keon, what do you think in terms of just who do you think is going to be your three-point threat just in terms of who's on your roster?
We got to do it by committee. Keon's the all-time best here. What a great young man, and he'll be very hard to replace. And he became such a consistent defender for us and was a tremendous leader. Jacoby Boykins is arguably our best shooter. He's out right now, so sometimes it doesn't look pretty in shooting drills. But Raheem Appleby, he's shooting it as well as he's shot it. Speedy Smith has really improved his stroke over time. Eric McCree's a step out 4. He's streaky at this time, young in his career, where during his redshirt year, we've been focused with Eric about improving in all these other areas, because his strength coming here was being a spot up stretch 4, a guy who can really fill it up. So I expect him to have games where he makes a bunch of shots. Hopefully it's more consistent than not. We don't have a Keon McNeil, but I do think we have 6 or 7 guys that are capable. You just hope that 2 or 3 of them are filling it up on on certain nights that you need them to. I left out Xavier Stapleton. He's coming off a practice where he hit a bunch of threes. He's just we got to be consistent. Our percentages has got to be up. It's not about going 8 of 10 and the next day going 1 of 10. It's let's try to be 3 of 5 every day.
What's your impression of Brandon Shepard thus far, and what's the outlook for him this season?
Sure. Brandon is a great young man. He's really changed his body since he's been here. We challenged him to start eating a little bit better and get in better shape, and he's become a much better runner, a better athlete because of it. He's going to be a very good player here. He's a stretch 4-5 who can really shoot. He's got great hands, got a good body. He's a physically tough kid. Brandon's problem is Mike Kaiser, and Janai White and Leo Edwards, which is a good problem to have. Having competition in practice every day just helps these guys improve every day. They're going at each other's throats, and that's what you want to see.